Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, guys. I hope you're having a really good day. This is quite possibly the latest time I've ever started a keyboard build stream, but other than that, it's been a good day. It's been a long day, it's been a late day, but we're gonna have a nice chill stream for the next hour or so, and we're gonna build a keyboard. And today we're going to build something quite special. We're going to build a prototype of the Aella, which I'm really looking forward to. I had my first chance to try out and look at the board earlier on today, take apart the build that James had already done, and now we're going to rebuild it with some different switches, some different stabilizers, and a different plate material, just to see what we can make of the board. So I'm really excited for that. Anarchy got first. He said, "Evening, Jay. I hope you were getting a coffee to get you through the second stream of the evening." Yes, I was. I have coffee on my desk right now. I need it. It's been a long day. So yeah, coffee is definitely needed at this time. 11 p.m. coffee. Quite possibly the latest I've ever had a cup of coffee as well. Musa Rides is here, as well as James, who designed this board that we're going to look at today. Musa Rides says, "Just picked up some DSS white and black. Excited to try out DSS. It's a good profile, man. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it." Anarchy saying, "Exciting few days for you, James. It must be super exciting to see it for sale so others can appreciate that lovely behind the board has." The board does have a really lovely rear angle. We'll show you that in a bit, guys. We'll show you that in a bit. Karcher's here as well. He says, "Oh my, am I ever allowed to sleep?" No, you are not. You are not allowed to sleep. Down that coffee and speedrun it? No, I'm not going to speedrun it. I'm not going to speedrun it. Thank you very much, Karcher, for being here. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here. Same for you, Storsness, as well. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Casper, hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for being here. Big shout outs to Too Cute to Be Straight, Rail 3798 and Frequency. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. Fully appreciate those. Thank you so much. I'm good but tired. Second time I've been streaming today after a full day's worth of work, so it's a late one, but we're gonna enjoy it. Joe Russell, thank you so much for the follow as well, man. I appreciate that, my dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, excited to show you guys the Aella. You'll notice that the 3D printers have stopped as well because it's like nearly midnight. Well, it's gone 11 p.m. and usually they finish up. So when I'm about to leave the workshop. So normally I do leave the workshop around now and I'd take that all off and I'd reset them going. But as you can see, they have just finished. So we'll get them going later on. Late stream, says Zombie. Yeah, really late. Really late. Anarchy says, "Can hear the Vestaboard in the background." It's probably the fan. Like just off camera here, I have like an industrial 3 feet across fan because it's so hot in the workshop at the minute. So I apologize if that's loud and if you guys can hear it. I apologize for that. It might be the Vestaboard every now and again. The Vestaboard does go off. You'll probably see my phone light up when the Vestaboard goes off because my phone's on the side there. Casper saying, "How's GMK Botanical going so far?" Really well, man. It's going really well. I didn't think it was in doubt of doing well. Yeah, sets with Omnitype tend to do really good, and Botanical's no different. Botanical's doing really well, so yeah, it's going great. Okay, should we flip over to the camera and show you guys what we're working with today? First of all, you'll see my coffee, but hey, I'm just going to zoom this top camera in just a smidgen, There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so first of all, guys, I did get a key set in today. This is GMK Modo Lite. This arrived today. It looks pretty smart. I'm very happy with how this came out, and we're going to use this on the board today as well, so we'll open this later on. This is the GMK Modo Lite packaging. Modern Dolch Light, the Omnitype logo up here. It's pretty cool. So we're going to open that later on, and that's the key set we're going to use on the board today. I also have a little bag of nylon washers because we need some washers for this build. The board did come with some. James did send me some, but the ones he sent me are stuck to the previous build and I haven't had a chance to take them off, so we're just going to reuse some new ones. So we'll open up those as well. So we're going to be using alpaca switches. These are what I had on hand. Sorry, James, if you don't like alpaca linears, but that's what we're going to use in the build today. So we're going to use alpaca switches, V2s. We're going to use Duroc V2 stabilizers. These are the Mechanisk ones, so they're in this lovely ultramarine colorway. This is just what I have to hand. This is what we're going to build the board with today. And then, of course, we have the keyboard itself. And this is kind of reminiscent of what you guys will get in the group as well. So it comes in this nice hard carry case. Trying to find the space for this today. Looks insane. Lucky man. Wait, what? Why didn't you have top pack radio stuff? Because that would be unfair. I don't want to use Brian and my platform to shield prototypists. It feels a bit weird, so I tend not to do that. James is a fan of alpacas. I'm glad. I don't know if I want to show you the board. Like, we do have one thing to fix as well. While I was dismantling it earlier on, the JST off the back of the PCB broke, so we had to fix it. I'm using a Rode NT, but it might be a bit crap on the audio quality because I've got a giant fan just off camera. Hold on, let me take a picture. This is what I'm dealing with right now because it's really warm in here. So just off camera, I do have a giant fan. If I take a picture, I'll be able to show you. So let me show you this, guys. So there you go. You can see that there on the sofa there is a giant fan blowing and spinning at me. It's like 3 feet across. It's on that back wall. So yeah, just trying to keep a little bit cool. So I apologize if that's distracting the sound. We get a J double dip stream today. Of course you do, man. Of course you do. Sounds really good, does Mike? That's just probably my great voice. I have a great voice for radio, apparently. I have a face for radio as well, which helps. But yeah. Okay, I'm interested to show you the board and not show you the board. Like, I kind of don't have a choice because I had to dismantle it just before the stream. Today we're going to be using this plate, which I made in a rush, as always, which is made of POM. It should be okay. I've lined it up. It looks like it's close enough. I didn't really get a chance to calibrate the machine properly before I made this, but this looks like it's going to work okay. This is the same plate as what you'll get in the group buy, apart from it's the different material. So it's the same layout and same compatibility, but there's not POM available in the group buy. Jay Chef, thank you so much for the 500, the double dip bits. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. The closest analog to this will be the PC plate that you can buy in the group buy, but I'm not using the aluminium plate that came with the board today. I'm just going to use this one that I made myself, and I hope that's okay with James as well. Having a UK proxy for group buys now is so good. Glad to help, man. That's the whole point. Yeah, if I can help people, that's great. Here's the PCB. So this is the PCB we're using today. This is the prototype PCB. There we go. As you can see, this has been desoldered once because James built it and now I'm rebuilding it. It's got the Canon Keys logo there, and it's also got the Aella logo just here, if you can see that. Now we do have to fix the JST connector, as I said. That did come off whilst we were desoldering. That goes just here. You can see the pads just missing there. We're going to fix that when we come to soldering. That's the first thing we're going to do before we solder in switches. We are going to fix that. It should be relatively easy to do. So I'm looking forward to being able to get that sorted. And here is the offending cable. This is the culprit. The cable. The little JST port on the rear. You can see here where it's beige. It just came off. So yeah. We'll fix that. You can call that user error. You can call that my fault. Okay, as well as that, you also get things like feet and a few other bits and pieces in there, but I'll show you those because those are already fitted to the board. And here is the keyboard itself. Now, this colorway isn't available in the group buy. It's dusty because it was in the workshop. I apologize. It was in the workshop. I was sorting stuff out in the workshop. But there you go, guys. This is the board. You can see the daughter board's already fitted. These lovely 0.75U blockers here. And interestingly, you might see some little silver dots here. That's because this case is screwless design from the outside. Once it's built, you can't see the screws on it. So if I flip it over and show you the cool bits, you'll see here that we've got the AKB Alchemist Keyboards logo there with the word prototype underneath it. We've got these custom black pour feet made for the board. A lot of prototypists and AKB projects are going to be using these. These are injection molded. They're not die cut or anything else. These are going to come with the board in group buy as well. And look at this side profile. Look how nice this is. Look how nice that is. All across the back as well. Same lovely curve. USB in the center. Nice and tight. Nice good fitment. Same curve down this side. Seamless design as well, so you can't see the seam. The seam is here, it's between the two parts just there, but you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. Like from the side view, you can't see it. Right, unless you know it's there, it's not visible. There's no scratches on the board, this is just fingerprints, guys. I apologize. Like, it was a real rush to get ready for this stream today. I apologize, guys. But there we go. The USB socket within the chamfer is really cool. Yeah, so this is really cool. So this curve runs, like you can see here that it's a curve. That runs down the full length of the board, and the USB is just recessed into that nicely. It's really hard to show you guys on camera. There's also the little logo on top as well. Come on, camera, focus. Focus, please. Camera? Hold on. We will get the camera to focus. There we go. The AKB logo here, and then you see the USB is recessed into that curve. It just looks great. It just looks really, really nice. So there we go. This is the board we're going to build today. And I'm pretty excited for it. I'm pretty excited to see what we can get this to sound like. I didn't try James's build. I didn't type on it. So this is all new to me. Yeah. Let's just catch up with chat really quickly. I'm looking to pre-order GMK dots from your website. What's your opinion on the set? I think it's a good, fun set. If you want something that's not too serious and you want to have some fun with it, I think it's a good, fun set. That's a beauty. Yeah, this is such a nice board. It's such a beautiful board. Like just the side profile alone, this curve here, the way the light picks this up, I really can't wait for the my favorite is going to be the blue and silver top and bottom. So the blue top with the silver base, and then the purple and lilac as well, because that's going to look so good just highlighted in the silver and in the lilac. That's just going to look so good. Like, it's so hard to show you guys the detail on this. Like, it's just like this perfect little slot there. It's really nice. Genuinely lovely. Hey Jay, check your DMs. I'm streaming, man. I'll check them later. If you DM me like today, I've probably not seen it. I will have a look later on, man. I'll have a look later on. GMK Striker and GMK Dots for me. What would I go for? Personally, I'd probably pick Dots up out of the two. I think it goes with more cases. But yeah, that's just my personal view. More pre-orders are going up next week on the site. Are you going to make me double dip for the purple lilac? The purple lilac is my choice. I'll tell you for why. Because I just bought myself GMK Symbiosis and Symbiotic, sorry, and that's going to go on that purple board. That's what I'm waiting for. Either that or Black Lotus, which should ship from GMK next month. So I'm really excited for that. Casper, there's a list in the Prototypist Discord. If you go to Prototypist Discord and you check in announcements, I gave a list of what's going to come early next week on the pre-order front. So there you go. But yeah, JShuff, you can more than double dip if you want. You've already done 500 double dip points. I think you need to do a double dip Aella as well. I think that'd be fair. Okay, so let's talk about taking this board apart. As we said before, there's no case screws on the outside. You don't screw this case together from the outside. You screw it from the inside, which does mean that I need to find my Torx keys. Let me find the right size one. I think it's this size. Let me just double check. Oh, too big. It's always the way, isn't it? The first thing we're going to undo is undo these a few screws across here. Jasha finds it funny. Tell you what, if you buy a second one, Jasha, I'll build it for you for free. How about that? There you go. You can see the pricing of the board. It's different from different vendors, and it depends on where you are in the world. But you can see the pricing if you go to Canon Keys if you're in the US. If you're in Asia, you can go to Ilam KB. Or if you're anywhere else in the world, you can go to prototypist.net. But it's different pricing depending on where you are and what currency you're using. Joe says, I love the use of Notion for the group buy updates. Yeah, I just got sick of maintaining a big long list of stuff and I wanted something that I could semi-automate. So the Notion lists that I have up that are public, they actually They actually pull from the Notion stuff that I use in the background. So most of Prototype runs on Notion in the back end, a mix of Notion and Trello and a few other bits and pieces. And I could automate the updates from cards from what I'm doing on the project into the public versions of those Notion calendars. So that was the plan, and it seems to be working okay. I changed it from a calendar view to a Kanban board style view, and that seems to be gone down really well with people. Like, it's dead easy to find what you're looking for now, so I hope that's good. Coffee. Okay, so now we're going to take the top case off, and I'm going to show you guys the bottom case. So this is the inside of the bottom. You can see it's got this lovely side piece. This is all hidden by the top case when the top case is in place. It's basically just a wedge of aluminium. It's really nice. It's solid. It's lovely. It's nice, smooth, flat. It's just what it needs to be, right? But where the magic happens on this board is actually on the top case. So first off, it's got that lovely curve to it on the top case here. You see that it's actually thicker here in the middle than it is either of the two ends because of the way that that curve goes, which is just a really, really nice profile. I genuinely love that detail. But here we get to the clever bit. Like, the way this board screws together, you might notice that the actual standoffs here are silver and not blue. And that's because on the inside of the board, there is two basic sets of clips. And what these clips are, or these, I don't know if James has got an official term, I'm calling them clips. They're screw-in clips, but what they do is they allow the top part of the case to be screwed to the bottom part of the case really neatly and nicely. So let's take that apart and show you guys how it works. Dooberies, nice technical term, I like that. Gotta love a good technical term. And basically these are just thin bits of machined metal that screw into the top case here, and then they force a connection to the bottom case by proxy because of the way that they're aligned. So it's a really, really nice, simple, elegant solution for making sure that the two cases fit together nicely. Come on, screw. There we go. So these are just a thin piece of metal that screws into the top case and gives you these tabs to screw into the bottom case as well, which is really clever. It's a nice little idea. We're just going to set that one down just there. I'm going to take the other one out and do the same with that. DD, thank you so much for the follow. Jeremy as well, and Louds too. Thank you so much, guys, for the follows. I really appreciate that, guys. Vandal says, you're nice, simple and elegant. I'm simple, I'll give you that one. I'm simple, yeah. For sure. That's a good descriptor of me. Try not to lose these screws because there's a few different screws that go into this board. So I'm going to pop that little tray down there. And then the last thing that we'll see is that the board is basically a top mount board. You'll see that we've got screws here for the top mount feature, but it's top mount with a twist. It's kind of like a bit of a burger mount. I think it's this one I need. Thank you very much, Casper. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you have a good night. There we go. Interesting design and avoids complex machining if it had been built into the case. For sure, yeah, if you were going to build that into the case, it would add more complex machining to do. This is a really nice, simple solution that makes it much easier to take apart and put together as well. Okay. And there we go, that's the case taken apart. Nice and simple. I'm just going to pop that back on the base for now. I do apologise that the board's really dusty. As I say, I was doing this in a rush just before the stream, so I didn't have time to clean it up or anything else, which is really bad. I apologise, guys. I apologise to James more than anything. Mint Ludica, thank you so much for the follow. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Heyo, yeah, I hope you're doing well, Mint Ludica. Good to see you. Okay, So now we've done that, it's time to prepare our stabilizers. So for this build, James, you need to tell me how you would like it building. We didn't discuss this before. The PCB and the plate both support full ANSI and ISO layouts. You can do split backspace, you can do 7U bottom row, you can do a 6.25U bottom row as well, 6U bottom row as well, not 6.25. So I'm going to go with your heart. Okay, go with my heart. That's easy done. ISO, James is getting a full ISO build. That's easily done. An ISO build with a 7U bottom row. That's where we're going here today, guys. That's where we're going. I hope that's alright, James. 6U or 7U. Yeah, I said 6.25 by mistake. Yeah, it's 6U or 7U. Yeah. I don't have a 6U stabilizer on hand, so it was going to have to be a 7U bottom row anyway. We are going to build this board in ISO layout. Because why not, right? Why the hell not? Live dangerously and live to the fullest. Mitlogica checking out the build. Doing okay, all things given, things are normalizing. I'm glad to hear it. I'm really glad to hear it. Let me know if you need a chat, Mitlogica. My DMs are always open. It's not as bad as the scuffed Keycap build, at least. Hey, the Keycap's here. It's built just fine. It's not scuffed at all. It works great. Don't tell me it's scuffed. You can get 6U wires from the wonderful Faxa. So yeah. You can purchase 6U wires. It was scuffed the first time around, only because we were using a PCB that wasn't designed for it. And we fixed that, right? We fixed it. Okay, so we're going to go full backspace and ISO enter. We're going to do, obviously, split left shift because it's a 75%. Sorry, split right shift. We're going to do a split left shift as well. So then the only other thing we need is a spacebar. So we're going to use a 7U spacebar, full backspace, and ISO. You happen to have 35-ish 6U wires. I guess James is now selling them as well, and there we go. Okay. Now it's time to lube these stabilizers up. You're hoarding them. Yeah, apparently so. We're just going to put some lube on the stabilizer wires, guys, and we're just going to put a medium amount on here. You don't want to put too much on. It's much easier to add more lube later on if you haven't added enough than it is to take it away. So don't go too mad with your lubes. Less is more, as they say. Just going to put a medium thickish coating on, just enough to cover the wire, but not so much that you can't actually see the wire. Once that's done, we're just going to slide that into the housing, and we're just going to clip it into the front of the stabilizer. And we're going to repeat on the second side, and then we'll lube the slider rails in a few moments. Okay. That's our first stabilizer done. Now we're going to move on to the one for the ISO enter. And guys, if you've got any questions about the board, now's the time to ask, because you've got James in chat who can answer all of your questions. Anything you'd like to know about the board, he can answer your questions because he designed it. Take advantage of him. In a good way. Anything about life. Okay. First and foremost, you're doing good. Yeah, ask him how he's doing. That's a great question. Make sure he's okay before you hit him with the bombshells, right? Let's say once we've lubed the wires and put them together, we're going to go back and lube the slider rails. I'll show you that in a second, guys. Yeah, James is moving as well at the same time, yeah. Running a group by and moving all at the same time. He's a madman, but we love him for it. Okay. Okay, now we've done that, we're just going to go and lube all of the slider rails. We're just going to put a really thin coating on here. We don't want to gum these up too much. Just want to make sure they're nice and smooth, not thick of lube. We're doing it on both sides of the stabilizer. Oops. Then we're just going to put a small blob just in the rear of each stabilizer as well, just so that it coats the wire nice and evenly. There we go, that's that finished. Go back and do the sides on here. Theremin Goat, thank you very much for being here, man. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for checking out what we're doing today. Dollars a Beast is here. He says, what lube is this? This is 205 grade 2. Which is what I use for pretty much all my keyboard needs these days. Okay, and a final stabilizer. Moose Rice says, ask James a question, says, why did you decide not to go with a weight for the keyboard? It's a good question. And there we go. That is our stabilizers all lubed up. Now we're just going to clip these into the board and screw them down. And then it's time to get some switches in the board as well. My Quitox 205 grade 2 is not suspect. It's just fine. It's just 205 grade 2. But it's not suspect. It's legit, I promise you. And I know that's not what you meant. I know I'm winding you up. Okay, so we're just going to try and put the stabilizers into the board now. This one is proving just a touch on the tough side. Okay. We'll make sure these are all nice and flush and level. There we go. And then we're going to put a little washer on the far side, and we're just going to screw this down. And when you're screwing like stabilizers into a board, guys, just go careful. You don't want to over tighten these. You just want to go until it's finger tight, and then once you start to feel a little bit of resistance, you just want to go a quarter turn more, and then you should be good. Go too tight and you'll risk damaging the PCB, and that's not good for anyone. I think this is your favorite looking 75. Yeah, I would agree. It's my favorite looking 75% as well. No, I'm going to do it before I put the switches in, Anarchy. It shouldn't matter where the stabs are going. It should be fine. Like, maybe it would have been a tiny bit easier, but it's going to be okay. It's not going to be too difficult to do. Although you will get to see how terrible my detailed soldering is. I think a weight would have detracted from the board personally. Now James has answered, I'll give my view on it. I think a weight would have detracted from it. Like, the beauty of this board is in its simplicity. That side profile is all the board needs to speak for itself, in my view. It doesn't need any gizmos or whatsits or doohickeys to make it any better. I just need to know when James is going to make me a solid brass version of the board. Solid brass. Brass top, brass base. Just brass, brass, brass. Brass everywhere. Commission it and it'll be made. Go. Put the rest of these away now. Okay, now we've got the stabilizers on the board. The next job is going to be to fix this JST connector. Ferrinian, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the build's going well. We're not too far into it. We just put the stabilizers in the board, and we're just about to fix a JST connector. So to do that, I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my trusty flux, because it's a really small stuff that we're soldering here. And the second thing I'm going to do is check see if I've got any really fine solder, which I do. I'm only soldering a really, really small part today. So I have some thinner solder. This is so thin you probably can't even see it on camera. This is like the thickness of a hair. It's 0.2 millimeters thick. It's very thin stuff, and also it doesn't roll as well as normal solder does. So I found an end. Okay, and let me show you up close what we're soldering today, guys. So these pads here, where my finger is, that's what we're soldering today. That's what we need to solder and make the JST cable fit. And you can see here is the actual connector itself. That's it, just that tiny little bit. That's what we need to solder on. So the first thing I'm going to do is put quite a bit of flux on here. So I'm just going to shake my flux pen up. And we're just going to put quite a bit of flux on the board. There we go. I'm going to keep that to hand just in case this doesn't go so well. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our solder iron, and we're just going to run some solder into the pins here. We're just going to run a little bit of solder into the pins, and hopefully this is just going to coat the pins nicely. There's going to be no bridging, he says. Excuse me. Okay, so there we go. Now we've put some solder on each of those tiny little pins. You should be able to see that they've now got some solder on. There's no bridging. It's pretty neat and tidy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the connector in place, and we're just going to heat one of the pins, and we're going to try and make sure that this then connects where it needs to be. So I'm just going to line this all up right where it needs to be. Making sure all these pins on the back of this are straight. They're not quite straight, so we're just going to try and straighten these out a little bit. So I'm not using the flush cutters to cut here. I'm just using the flush cutters to bend these back to some semblance of being straight. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this in place, And whilst it's held in place, I'm going to try and heat up just one of the pads and see if we cannot get this back into position. Okay, and there you go, you can see that we've now soldered those 4 pads back onto the 4 pins. It's now held in place. It is there, it is in place, there's no bridging or anything else. It's not the neatest job I've ever done, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Now the next thing we need to do is make sure that we make sure that's all robust. So we're going to put some more flux on. This is where we're going to end up coughing again. So whilst we've pinned it in place, now I'm just going to go and reflow these points so that there's plenty of solder on each connection rather than it just holding it in place, specifically on the outside ones first. So this is a really detailed operation, guys. And then we're going to come down on the other outside one. And this is just going to hopefully hold it in place nice and steadily. There we go. Just checking to make sure we've got no bridges or anything else like that. And that's looking good. And there we go. That's fixed for now. The only issue with this is never going to be particularly robust. The main reason is because there's a pin on either side of the JST connector that goes into the PCB, and those have been lost as it's come out, so we can't fix that. But the soldering is relatively strong. I wouldn't want to hold the PC up by the cable, but it should hold, and it should be more robust enough to transmit a signal, let's say. So we're just going to keep that nice and gentle, and we're going to be very, very gentle with it as we put the board together. We're now done with the thin solder as well, so we can put that to one side. And the next job is to put some switches in the board. I'm sure you're going to get asked this 100 times today, but what desk mat is this? This is the Alpha Keycaps desk mat. So this is, basically the owls on this are Kipuras, and then there's also Salvador dogs as well, like just down here. I'm not sure how it happened there, I mean. Like, it was all together when I took the board apart, and then once I'd finished desoldering, it wasn't there. So I don't know if it's me that's pulled it off or if it was already loose or whatever. I'm not sure, but it was off. It's not usual. No, you're correct. It doesn't usually happen. Let's call it user error. Let's strike it down to user error, and you can blame me for it. Okay. Now I did make this plate in a rush as well, so I haven't tested this, but it looks like it's just about right. So we're just going to push some switches into this, hold it all together. There we go. Pretty sure the plate file's correct, but let's make sure it's all nice and neat and tidy. Once we've got a few switches in, we'll be able to just go around and push them in nicely. Going to do a couple in the middle now with POM plates like this. Sometimes because they're a bit flexy, it's sometimes just a touch hard to get the switches to sit neatly in there, but this is looking okay so far. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start in the center of the board, and we're just going to work our way around. Just being careful of that JST connector wherever we do anything. Just make sure we're not pulling that off. We have to be very delicate and very gentle with it. Shadowpad, thank you so much for the 2 months of subscriptions, man. I fully appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes, hello, hello. Thank you very much for the sub, man. I really, really appreciate that, more than I can tell you. Just want to be really, really super duper careful with this JST connector. I don't want to have to fix it again, so we're just going to keep the PCB off the desktop for a minute while I do this. Bit of a late stream? Yeah, sometimes we have to do a late stream, and today's one of those days. Thanks, Kaja. Thanks for being here, man. Go get some rest, dude. I'll speak to you again soon, I'm sure. Elder Rat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much, man. Just taking it nice and steady. Just putting some switches into this build. We're just going to work our way around the board. Blue Dreamer 88, thank you so much for the subscription. Thank you very much for that. Subscribe with Prime, thank you so much. These are alpaca switches. These are V2 alpacas, yes. Good spot. I hope I've got enough of these actually. The bag's looking remarkably low on switches already. Tuning in from 36,000 feet up. How much fun. Wow. Wow. Keyboard flight stream. I feel privileged that someone's watching me from the edge of the sky. Like, how do you even get a signal up there? Is there in-flight Wi-Fi in your flight, or is it mobile data? I've never had much luck on flights with either being particularly robust. Never enough to watch a stream on either way. Really long Cat 5. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Just imagine all these flights with Cat 5 cables trailing everywhere, getting tangled in power lines, and imagine having the job of going to untangle all of these cables. Or be like a switchboard operator, plugging them and unplugging them all over the place. Southwest Airlines is working for once on Wi-Fi. Nice. Migrating bird getting clotheslined. Yeah. Okay, getting there now with the switches, guys. Not too much longer. We'll be ready to start soldering. Just want to make sure all these switches are nice and flush. I'm shocked I was actually able to make out the 0.2mm solder. Nice. I'm doing the stream while I can. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Gonna go with stepped caps because stepped caps is best. And of course, we've got split left shift as well. Okay. Starting to take shape now. It's starting to look like a keyboard now, guys. Kedjahart says, was the 40% Jer shown? I don't have one of those. These are just stock switches, these are stock alpacas. Sadly, I don't have time to loop switches much these days. I wish I did, because I do find it really enjoyable as an experience. I usually like to sit down and watch TV and loop switches, but I very rarely get the chance to these days, sadly. I don't know what the 40% Jer is though. Did Jer Mini do a 40%? Like the Jer J80, is there a 40% version of it? That'd be cool. I thought just the JST Connector then, it's just the other side. Enjoying the stream, thanks man. Yeah, just a nice chill stream. It's really late here, it's like nearly midnight, it's like 5 to midnight now, so it's really late today. Usually I don't stream this late on in the day. Oops. Okay, almost there with the switches now. My fear of running out is abating somewhat. I think I've got just about enough. Okay. Are you enjoying the new office setup? Yeah, I'm really enjoying the new office setup. It's much nicer to be in the office now. It's just nicer to be in here. Yeah, it's much better. I've been meaning to do it for like a year since I moved in here, and it's taken me until now to get around to it. So we've been in the warehouse since May 2020. Yes, I go figure. Right. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to try and make sure we get the next switches in the right place. So I think that wants to be I think that wants to be there. I think those are the right places. Let's just make sure they're in securely. And there we go, guys. That's all of our switches in, and now we're ready to solder. There you go. You can see it looks nice and neat, tidy from the side and from the base as well. That's all nice and securely soldered on. So now it's time to solder the switches, and you guys know what that means. It means it's now time for you to ask me any question that you would like regarding anything at all. Oh, that was risky. You just don't want the cable in the way. All you need to do is just tag me with @JPrototypist. Ask me any question you'd like, and it can be about any topic whatsoever, whilst I solder the support together. Just going to get a couple of switches in first, and then I'll start to answer your question. I'm going to start in the centre of this one. I'm just going to work into the corners. The reason I'm starting in the centre is mainly because of the flex cut on this one. Just want to do one above and one below the flex cut. Just to make sure that everything's nice and even. And then I'm just going to do one in each corner. And then we'll go into the soldering from there. go. Okay. How was the move in the quarantine? Any unexpected difficulties or benefits? So Prototype has moved from being in my garage to being in the workshop, as I said, last May. I can't remember the exact date, but it was sometime in May 2020. And honestly, it was dead easy. Like, at the time, I had very little stuff, so it was quite easy. It was like 2 car trips to bring tools down, another couple of car trips to bring stuff down that was like stock, desk mats and stuff like that. And once that was all here, it was pretty easy. The whole place was empty, and it's surprising just how quick we filled it, just with stuff coming in. But yeah, it was dead easy. One of the big benefits was that because of the pandemic, this warehouse was not let out earlier on, so they were finished being built in October 2019. And at the time, they'd gone on the market, and a few people had inquired about them, and the owners hadn't been able to get anyone in them, because as soon as it started to hit January, COVID was a thing, and it started to get worse and worse, and they dropped the price down around the end of April, so I was able to get this place a lot cheaper. So that was one of the big benefits. I think the rent was about 60% of what it should be, which is really good, and I got that for a few years deal, so we're good. The plan is to move eventually, probably towards the back end of 2022. We'll probably move in preparation for when the contract ends. But yeah, it's good. It's a nice space. I thought it was plenty big enough, but every day I start to look at the space available and I start to think, do you know what? Perhaps it's not big enough. Perhaps we need somewhere bigger. Did Origami's ship date get pushed back? The group buy says Q4 2021 and the page says Q2 2022 now. It's not that it got put back, it's just I think that's a more realistic date based on where everything else is. So just knowing what the queue is like for EPBT and based on extrapolating some known information, that's what I'm expecting it to be. Like, it's not that it's delayed, it's not that I've had official word that it's delayed, it's just that's my expectation of when I'm going to get it. I'd rather be realistic than overconfident and not able to deliver something that I promise you guys. And as I get more or less confident of stuff, that date will change. So I'll update that as and when I feel like I'm more or less confident in that date. Could you put a first floor in the warehouse to give you more room? Yes, I could. The issue is if I do that, then it automatically becomes the landlord's property, even if I spend 20 grand on putting a mezzanine floor in. And the other problem with that as well is it will also mean that the rent will go up because there's more floor space, and it will also put the business council tax rates up, and it will also put the business insurance rates up. So it will cost me a lot of money to do that just because I'm increasing the space. It would be potentially cheaper to just find somewhere that already had the space available. We'll see. I've considered both, and there's pros and cons and merits to both, but we'll see. No decisions made as yet. To be honest, what we may do is we may just get somewhere that's just pure storage rather than actually work from there, and maybe we'll have 2 buildings, one that's just pure storage and then here, which is where we actually do the work. That might be what we end up doing. Samurai going to slow down the other sets? Maybe. Can you just have really tall shelves? Yeah, but I'm not really tall myself, so I wouldn't be able to reach them if I did. I'd need like ladders and all sorts, ladders on wheels, and I'd have to have wider corridors and stuff, so I don't know. Like, there is options on what we could do, but none of them are ultra realistic right now. Maybe don't do that then, yeah. How would ordering from Prototypist work as a US resident? You order from me, and I ship to you when the product's ready. Simple as that. You pay at checkout, and you will pay exactly what the board cost is, and you'll pay exactly what the shipping cost is because it looks up live rates from DHL. So, yeah, it's as simple as it goes. And then I just ship you whatever the product was once the product was in stock. Shipping would probably take about, from here to the US in DHL terms, it's about 48 hours on average. 48 hours door to door. From it being picked up here to being delivered in the US address, it's about 48 hours. I have had it really quick. I think the fastest thing I ever shipped was 17 hours door to door, but the average is closer to 48. But yeah, we ship worldwide. I don't think there's anywhere we can't ship to. Almost there with the soldering. So guys, if you do have any questions, now's the time to ask them. You can just ask them about anything at all. Doesn't have to be keyboard related or prototypist related. It can be anything at all, any topic you'd like under the sun. I'm an open book and I'll answer as openly and as honestly as I can. I'm getting tired now. You can hear it in my voice, I think. Dues and taxes, no. I don't think, like in the US, I think you only pay taxes if it's over $800 in value. So I think that you would be just fine for most things, unless you're spending more than $800, but then you'd have that anywhere. But you don't have sales tax or anything else to worry about because I'm not registered in the US, so I don't have to charge a sales tax. So I think it's only if it's over about $800 or something that you would have to pay import and duties in the US. Cable mod managed 12-hour shipping from China for me once. Was crazy. That's nuts. That is nuts. I'm assuming that's 12 hours with time zones causing part of the dilation there, whereas my 17 hours was literally 17 hours as the package went. It was 17 hours of the package time from mine to the US, which is nuts. Can I come to your shop and help you pack packages? Yeah, sure. I'll make you a coffee if you do. I'll make you a coffee if you do. What's with the silver car in your warehouse? I see on your stories sometime. I have quite a few cars, and a couple of them are just stored here at the workshop. That's all it is. I don't have a silver one though. It's actually a metallic blue. It's like a baby metallic blue is the car that's in the corner behind all the boxes. It used to be my mother's car. Until she passed away, bless her, but it's now going to be a track toy for me and my brother when we get it sorted. Good question from Croup Snoopy. Says, any unexpected skills you've needed to pick up for prototypists? Yeah, probably a few, to be honest. I never needed to understand accounting or tax law or tax calculations, and I can now do some of that quite well, and some of it not at all. Learning content management systems is something I never needed to do before as well. So things like Shopify and other CMS tools that we use in the background, mail blasts and marketing and product design and all of that kind of stuff was stuff that I didn't really do much of before, in terms of like the actual website itself. What I did have a background in was program management and project management. I did that for 16 years for a fintech, so I was pretty good at that side of it. So I reused a lot of those old skills. But yeah, web design and coding and stuff, that was all new. Okay, almost there now. Sometimes shipping is just crazy. I hope you can come visit us someday soon. You are more than welcome to come and visit. Anyone is more than welcome to come and visit. Just give me a heads up that you're on the way, what time you'll be here. Make sure I'm actually going to be in the workshop that day, and anyone can come and spend a good hour here. Have a look around, have a chat, have a coffee. Anyone's more than welcome. Rail says, is it risky to desolder a PCB many times with a pump? I think if you're desoldering it 2 or 3 times, as long as you're careful, it should be okay. I think if you're going to do it any more than that, then the age of the PCB and the amount of time it's being desoldered, you're probably going to start to lift pads. You're probably going to start to damage diodes. So I think the more you do it, just the weaker the PCB will become. So 2 or 3 times is probably okay. Maybe even 3 or 4 times if you're good with the desoldering tools. But just take it steady away. Okay, almost there now. Just the last few switches to solder. Hope I got the bottom row ones in the right place. Embarrassing if I didn't. And there we go. That's the soldering done. When is the watch building stream? As soon as I get around to it. Like, I need to get around to it. I've got so many streams I want to do and so little time. And like, my issue at the minute is just that there's so much to do for the business that after I've worked for 17, 18, 19 hours in a day, the last thing I want to do is stream. So I'm struggling to get my midweek streams going again. But I do want to do a watch building stream. I do want to create a display for my pogs. I also need to create a new sign for the office wall in here, which I'm going to do on stream next week as well. So there's loads of stuff coming. Sorry to hear about your mum. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a couple of years ago now. Good use for the car, though. Yeah, so it's a 3-litre turbo diesel. It's a Peugeot 306. It's from 1999, and it's going to be just a little track toy. But I've got quite a few cars, so it's quite fun. And Adam laughing at lol quite a few. I think I have 9 cars right now. 9. It's not that many. Thurmingo saying have a keyboard. Who has keyboards? Does anyone have a keyboard? Have shipping prices changing from group buy going live to shipping been an issue for you? Especially with COVID, I assume increased a lot. Yeah, so that always happens. Like, always shipping prices are always going up. Like, they're on an upwards trajectory all the time. Between prototype is starting and now, I think the average shipping price has gone up about 12%. Not just COVID related, even irrespective of COVID. Like, most of the shipping prices were really high in the middle of last year and then dropped back down. So yeah, it does impact me. Like, a lot of times customers paid £6.80 for shipping for domestic parcels, and they now cost £7.30 to ship. So that's 50 pence for every parcel that I'm now having to take out of the profit. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when the profit margin on most things is in the pennies, it can add up. Like, it can add up. Okay, so now we've soldered all of that together. The next thing to do is to pop it all back into the case. So we do need to do a couple of things for this. And the first thing that we need to do is to make sure we've got the little washers that go in place to hold all this together. So we're going to take these from this little bag and get these in place. What is it about vintage boards that get you excited? Love all the highlights in your Instagram stories. Like, thanks, man. I enjoy doing the Insta stories. They're really cathartic to do, so thank you. And I don't expect anyone to ever watch them, and I'm always blown away when I check back the next day and like 1,000 people have looked at the Insta stories, or 2,000 people, or 3,000 people. It's always kind of nuts, and it just blows my mind. If it's that many pounds, just ship out less stuff. Yeah, just don't ship people's products. Let them buy them, but don't ship them. Gotcha, Thurman. I see how it works. Yeah. So what we're doing here, guys, is I'm just putting these little rubber pieces in place. And these basically just sit inside the board. I feel like all the vintage keyboards I've seen are beige. A lot of them are beige, yeah. Wait, yeah. I'm just popping these in place. That one's misshapen, so we're not going to use that one. In terms of the vintage boards itself, like, I find the earlier times in computing eras just really interesting. How many people wanted to do different things and how many different variations of things there are is just I just find it incredibly, almost intoxicating. Like, it's just like the possibilities were seen as being endless back then, and I'm really sad that I never got to see that in person. So I live vicariously through all of these vintage boards that I can now, that I'm lucky enough to be able to purchase. So I'm just being really gentle now, just screwing this together, putting the O-rings in place. Yeah, there weren't many standards back then, that's true. And not all vintage keyboards beige. That's, that is definitely not true. Wait, am I putting these in the right spot? Yeah. I'm double questioning myself now because it's so late at night. I feel like I'm just gonna tweak how I've laid this out. Have you ever been to the Museum of Computing in Cambridge? I haven't, no, but I probably would enjoy it. I have seen pictures of people who've been, and I probably would really enjoy it, actually. It does sound like my kind of thing. MX was a result of the ISO standards, as are the Alps that some use. Yeah. You know more about that stuff than I do, Nikki, so I will let you talk about that with abandon. Heard of the PID P11 or PID P8 kits? Might be up your alley. I haven't, J-Shift. No, if you've got a link, please send me one. I would love to check that out. Yeah, that'd be a good day. I could drive down, James, pick you up. We could pick Anarchy up, and then we could make our way there, right? That'd be a good day. Oh, right. Let me have a look at this. Let me have a look. Oh, okay. I love that already. Yes. I like it. I like it a lot. That's really cool. I don't know what I'd do with it, but I enjoy it. Yeah, okay. I should get one of those. What's my favorite looking board? Probably the Commodore boards. I'm a big fan of those. I have quite a few. I actually gave James one a couple of years ago as well, or maybe a year or so ago. Okay, so now we've screwed the plate in. We've put the O-rings above and below. That's all nice, neat and tidy. Everything's held in place, looking good. So now it's time to put the case together. And to do that, we're going to put the JST cable in first. Try not to rip it out. There we go. And then whilst the JST is in place, we're just going to drop this in. Just like so. I'm going to flip that over. And then now we can screw the case back together. Hopefully the cutouts. Oh wait, no, I'm missing a bit. What am I doing? I can't do this yet. What am I doing? So I need to put these back in. Now I need to work out which one of these is the top and which one of these is the bottom. Because these only go in one place. I think this is this one. Nope. That one goes here. There we go. And this is basically going to give us our points to screw the top and bottom case into. those tiny little connectors in a really cool way. That's that one. You need to slide this one under the JST. And before I checked chat now, and you were all telling me I was making a mistake before I realised. There we go. Whew. Now we can screw the board together, and this is the tricky bit. This is going to be the tricky bit, I think. Getting these screws in through the board. This might take us a couple of attempts to do something. 2 Qs be straight. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscription, man. I thoroughly appreciate it, my dude. Thank you, man. Thank you. J Discriminate and MVKBcom. Thank you so much for the follows as well. Thank you. Use tweezers to place the screws, so much easier. I'm doing okay at the minute. I've got 2 in relatively quickly, relatively easily. There we go. Big brain, James. That's not so bad so far. It's going. It's going. It's working okay. The other screw go. Wait, did we not screw that? Oh no, I've lost a screw, guys. I've lost a screw. Oh dear. Let's see if we can find that screw. Nope. The screw has gone. Oh dear, I've lost a screw. I owe you a screw, James. I think it'll be okay. I might have a spare one here that'll fit, actually. Maybe not. Maybe not. No. Okay, so I owe you a screw, James. But other than that, the board's all there and nice together. So now it's time for some keycaps. So let's zoom the camera in a little bit while we're putting the keycaps on, guys, and you can see exactly what the board's going to look like. We're using Modern Dolchelite today, which is a keycap that's just been shipped to me. Very much it came today. So I'm pretty excited to get this on the board. Should be a spare in hard case. I'll have a look in a second. Nope, that's not a hard case. I'm not sure what I've done with it. It doesn't look to be one that's identical to these. I guess that would be the same size, but it doesn't look identical. It's also hex, not torques, but that should be okay. There we go. Placed with a different screw. So you have one hex key instead of all torques keys. There we go. It's in. Okay, so we're going to put Modern Dolchelite on here. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide if we're going to use accents or not. you guys need to decide whether we're going to use accents or no accents. I do like a super key. Let's use a super key on this. I like these super keys. We keep them in place. Okay, guys, you need to tell me if you want to see accents or not in the board. Do you want to see key set accents or no accents? Here we go. First unboxing of the full modern Bolch lights. Accents nice. Okay. Would you like to see the green or the pink accents? Come on. There we go. Pink accents. Pink. Accents. You guys want to see the pink? Okay, let's go for the pink ISO enter then. There we go. And typical GMK tray, all of the keys are all over the place. So we're just going to go solely pink accents then, just on the escape and on the enter. This is going to sound pretty interesting. Well, it's POM with alpacas in the Aella case. I hope my choice of key set's doing it justice as well for you, James. I hope you're happy with this choice of key set. It's a nice clean set. It is a lovely clean set. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out actually. And of course UK ISO to boot. I need to get the other ISO key out there actually. It doesn't come with the key set when I ship it back either, James, I'm afraid. Okay. It's getting there now. It's looking like a proper keyboard now. Do all GMK keycaps not allow RGB light to shine through the lettering? No, they're all double shot solid keycaps. There have been attempts to run a keycap set that would have shine through legends, but it wasn't successful. And great, I've misplaced my switch puller, keycap puller. So we need to get the other ISO key out of here, it's just in the top packet. We'll grab that in a second. Gorgeous colour combo. Thank you, Mr. Petrov. Almost always not. Correct. Do you know who or what GMK's other non-Keep hobby clients are? Yeah, they make a lot of control panels. So like, I think if you're ever in Europe and you go inside an elevator or lift to go between floors in a building, there is a good solid chance that the mechanism in the background, the control board for that, was made by GMK, from what I understand. But I've never checked this. This is just what I've been told, so I don't know how true that is or not. That's my understanding. Jumped on purple, can't wait. OGR is going to be a while off. Yeah, the OGR is still a while away, yeah. I need a control key. And then we need the shift key. We need the 7U spacebar key. Also need... I mean, GMK have made their own keyboard before. They have made a keyboard. That is something they have done. Okay, now we need to do the hard bit, which is decide what we're going to have down the side here. I feel like it'd be remiss not to have page up. Is that the right profile even? Is that the right profile? Yes, that's the right profile. Is that the right profile? Yes. I'm just guessing and checking if the keycaps are the right profile here, guys. And they are so far. Okay. I'm going to print screen. Have the delete key just above, because why not? And let's put F13 up there because I like to be a bit awkward and have just some funky things going on. Okay, and that's the keyboard all put together. What do you think, guys? How good does this look? Blue Aella with GMK modern Dolchlight. Look at that side profile. Look how good that looks. That really works. That really works. Good shout on the pink accents, guys. I think that the teal, the cyan, whatever it is, I'm not good with colours, but I think this would have been, I don't know, I just don't feel like this would have worked as well. If we look, what do you think? Do you think that would have worked as well? I think the pink works better by far. Bye. Yeah, right. The side profile, the side profile is so good on this board. Like, it's the biggest selling point for me. Like, look at that. Just the way that, yeah, it's just good, right? Pink and blue and grey, the classic three-way combo, for sure. Right, okay, I'm gonna go turn my fan off really quickly, and then we'll do a quick sound test. There we go. Let's turn the music down as well, and let's see how she sounds. I'm interested to see how this sounds. Like, I've not typed on this board yet. This is the first time I've typed on it, so let's see how it comes out. Snappy on the spacebar. Snappy on the enter. Snappy on the backspace. I mean, wow, that sounds so good. Like, those are so good. That sounds so good, right? These are stock switches. These aren't lubed or anything. These are just stock switches. That sounds killer. James, you may not get your keyboard back. I was joking about the double dip, but now you got me thinking. JST, you buy another one, I will build it for you, dude. I promise you. I will build it for free for you. That looks so good. Palm plate, alpaca switches, GMK motor light, Aella Prototype. If all the Aellas sound this good... These are not lube, Mr. Petrov. This is stock switch. Spacebar stab needs a tiny bit of work just in this top corner. Just in this top corner here, it just needs a little bit of work just on this side. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Pusher. Yeah, got the key wall up now. Yeah, so... Do you mean the actual... Do you mean the poster or do you mean the actual wall? Because I did all of the wall list last week as well. Please don't let him put it on the free floating screw on the desk. There is no free floating screw on the desk. It's gone. Like the screw that's missing. Oh, it's that. There it... No idea what you meant. No idea what you meant. Don't know what you meant, Mr. Petrov. Man, that's so good. It's really nice. Look how good the base looks as well, guys. Excuse the fingerprints, but there you go. That logo is begging for a bit of infill. What do you think, James? Maybe some white infill? Get some white paint in there? And these new black 4 feet as well. Yeah, it's actually 2 walls pushing. There's like a corner here. So the wall comes along this way and then it goes at a right angle that way. So that's actually the corner, which is where you see this goes into. But yeah, I did the whole wall on my Insta stories like a week ago. Maybe. I tell you what, James. Tell you what. What we'll do is we'll do the logo in white, and we'll do this bit in pink to match this. How about that? How about that? That sounds phenomenal. Imagine if the bottom was stainless steel. No. Busy Timmy J, the beard is looking magnificent today, by the way. Thank you, man. Thank you. It needs a brush because it's like midnight, and it's midnight. So there. If you'll give me the key set too, then sure. I'm not giving you the key set. I'm just not giving you the board back. That's how it's working. This is mine now. This is mine. Dude, I'm stoked. I'm blown away. This is so good. Thank you very much for the follow, Busy Timmy. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much to Randgorn as well for the follow too. Thank you, guys. There we go. Tempesto, thank you very much for the follow too. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. That's really nice of you. How cool is that? Guys, I think I'm in love with this board. Layout actually looks quite good with ISO. Dude, all layouts look good with ISO. My TKL looks good with ISO. My frog. Look. Oh, the cable's stuck. If I don't rip the cable off. There we go. Look. My frog TKL looks good with ISO. Can you tell I like grey sets? Enjoyed watching my first stream. Nice, man. Well, hopefully you come back for more. We're streaming again on Sunday. But yeah, like, wow. Like, if you were on the fence before, I hope this has tipped you over the fence. Like, even JST's buying 2 of these. Did ISO come first or did ANSI come first? I think ISO actually was around first. So the original, so this is a bit of a history lesson for you, but this space here started off as big ass enter. So this shape up here, across, down, all the way across to here, up, back, and then up. That was big ass enter, and that was the first key that was there. And both ISO and ANSI are just 2 different ways of splitting the same big ass enter key. So for ISO, you have the ISO key here, and you have a 1U key to the left of it. For ANSI, you have the horizontal ANSI enter here, and you have the pipe key just above here that takes up that space. So both ANSI and ISO are two different ways of splitting big ass enter, but they are basically identical in terms of their feature layout. The other thing that you could do as well, which was common a few years ago, is you can actually split the enter key as well. So you'd actually have the key here, you'd have this area as a key, and you'd have a line across here. This would be enter key, and then this would be a pipe key as well. That was a layout as well. You're not a fan of the ISO and how it's just slightly wider than the arrow below it? Oh, that's nice. I like that bit. I like that bit. We should go back to big ass enter. Maybe. But ISO and ANSI are just two different ways of splitting the same key up. It's all it is. Like the ANSI enter just takes up that space there and has a key here. That's literally all it is. Look, you can lay it on top. Let's show you guys. So it's just two different ways of doing the same thing. Look. This is basically what ANSI is. Look. It's literally all the difference. Like the keys take up the exact same space. They're just two different ways of laying it out. So there we go. Old matey, thank you so much for the follow, man. Thank you, man. Panda roll, pandered lol, even. Thank you so much for the follow as well. I appreciate that. Some of the Model F boards had a split ISO key. Yeah, like splitting the enter is the same whichever way you do it, right? The whole large ass pipe just makes no sense, so ISO is great in that respect. However, split backspace is ever more useful. I don't find a need split backspace on anything other than a HHKB layout. Like on here, like you've got two keys up here, you can do whatever you want with those. So there we go. But there we go, guys. That's the board built. It sounds fantastic. I'm super happy with it. I'm going to use this for a couple of days at the very least before I send it back to James. It gives me a chance to try out this key set. I'm thoroughly a fan of it. For stock switches, this board sounds amazing. We need more stock switch builds, right? That's what we need. Cool. Okay, if you guys have got any questions, now's the time to ask away before we finish the stream off. Otherwise, I'm going to find someone to raid. Let's see who we could raid. Who can we go raid? Who's doing something fun in Makers and Crafting? Well, Alex Otos is streaming. Let's go raid Alex Otos. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go and raid Alex Otos. Let me set that right up now. Where's the dashboard gone? There it is. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching to the stream today. I thoroughly appreciate it. I'll catch you guys again soon. We'll be back on Sunday doing another stream. James, you'll never get it back, don't worry. He knows he won't. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for being here, J Chef, and thank you everyone for watching. Zizora, thank you very much for liking The Office. I appreciate that. It looks great. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let's go raid Alex Otos. Let's tell him how much you love him and how much you love his stream. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks very much, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
So much. You're getting rated right now, dude. Jay, thank you so. Jay, how was the Did you build the Aella today? How was that? And thank you so much, Orc, for the one bit. I must be in a museum because you're truly a work of art. Oh my god. Thank you. How was the Aella? I heard you build one today. Well, I saw that you were building one. I heard that too. Oh, is Marcia leaving us? I must go work now. Marcia always working. Big Sag. Bye, Marcia. Thank you for the raid. Hi, Jay. Alex, when do you plan to build your personal special bear? It's right here. It's on my next, dude. After the frog, it's on my next. It's literally right here.
Oh, thank you, dude.
It's on my next to build list. And I want to put Crimson Cadet on it because I think it's just going to look so beautiful. Thank you, Cook, for the Prime. I appreciate it.